IVM.
Hey everybody, welcome to another week on the IVM Podcast Network. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Paytm Money Upfront. We're still in lockdown and we're trying our best to make our releases work, but we are occasionally getting a little late or slipping on some episodes. Hope that you guys continue to remain patient with us. Check out our social media accounts. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We're doing something over there called the IVM Smart Guide. A bunch of our hosts are talking about things to do during the lockdown, books, movies, podcasts, etc. Check it out. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And let's get you onto your show right now.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Positively Unlimited podcast. First of all, how is this lockdown going? How is it treating each one of you? How is working from home treating you? And I hope that each one of you is managing your housework as well as your job and what it demands of you. You're able to balance it right now. Sending out a lot of love to each one of you. And also apologizing a bit for the kind of sound quality that we have because I'm recording this from home on my phone. But diving straight into today's topic, I'm talking about C for communicate. Now, for those of you who have been listening to my podcast, I have spoken about how we should speak and how we communicate in different episodes. There's an episode called K for Know When to Speak. There is an episode on reflex words. So you can go back to those episodes. They're all available on the IVM app as well as the website. But today I'm talking about communicating, especially in these times of lockdown. So I'm aware that a lot of us who are locked down with our family and partners, whether husbands and wives, girlfriend, boyfriend, lovers, whatever, right? We're all locked in a house, in each other's face all the time. And it is during these times that we need to be very careful about how we speak, what we say, how we are communicating. And while many of us are seeing this as an obstacle and we're irritated, we're angry, we're frustrated, we're feeling helpless, we're feeling locked down, we're feeling stuck, we're feeling uncertain, I also see this as an opportunity because it is showing us what needs to change. This is the time to practice speaking differently and listening differently so that we can change the way we communicate with each other. And in doing so, we can change our relationships itself, right? So in seeing that opportunity, here's my first tip to you. When somebody asks you, what are you feeling? Please don't respond with telling them what has happened. So when you are angry and someone says, okay, what's going on? What are you feeling? Don't go into a rant of he said, she said, I did, then that happened, and then this happened. Because what that does, it puts the other person in a defensive mode, right? It brings their walls up. No one likes to be blamed. No one likes a finger to be pointed at them. But if you say the same thing from a space of what it made you feel, what someone's action made you feel, when you do this, I feel like this. When you say these things, it makes me feel this way. When you refuse to help, I feel helpless and even more exhausted. I feel burdened. So if you learn to just say what you feel, it starts to shift things because then the other person's response automatically changes. So that's my first tip to you. Start talking about what you are feeling, what someone's action is making you feel, rather than pointing a finger and blaming. The second thing that we all need to watch out for is our tone. And I have spoken about this in earlier episodes, but I'm saying this again right now. Watch out for your tone. The third thing that I'm going to say is be aware of what is irritating you, what is angering you. And be careful not to take out that irritation and anger on something or someone else. If you have woken up on the wrong side of the bed today, feeling stuck, feeling frustrated, feeling angry, don't go into the kitchen and start banging pots and pans. And don't start screaming or talking loudly in the house so that you can wake everybody up. What you are essentially doing in that moment is you are trying to get attention so that someone can look at you and say, hey, what's going on? Why are you not in a nice mood today? And then that's your opportunity when you'll want to go off into a rant and start crying and want to sit in the self-pity zone. So be careful how you are reacting to your own emotions. Now, again, when it comes to the emotions, there are a lot of episodes that I have done on anger, on fear, on guilt, on shame, on pain. Go back to them. Go back to them and listen to them, and you will know how to process them. One of the things that we all need to do right now is process our emotions. So think about how you are communicating to your own self. If you are feeling something, open up to your own self and say, you know what? I acknowledge that I'm feeling a little low today. I acknowledge that I'm feeling burdened and exhausted today. I acknowledge that I'm feeling alone today. I acknowledge that I'm irritated today. Let yourself acknowledge what you are feeling in clear terms. Because when you do that, then you will know what you can do about it. You don't want to keep your emotions in check. You want to process them and you want to flow from one emotion to the next. So that's the next tip that you want to think about. Another very important communication tip is to agree to disagree. Now, some of you must be wondering, what do I mean by this? Well, you don't have to win or lose every argument. Every argument, every discussion doesn't have to be about convincing somebody else to believe what you believe or to agree with you. It is absolutely normal and it is actually even good for differing opinions to exist in the same space. So you want to also understand this, that sometimes it is important to agree to disagree, to let you as well as the other person have their own respective sets of opinions, and that's okay. That can coexist. You two can coexist. But here's another thing to keep in mind. How soon can you agree to disagree when you know that a discussion is going nowhere? How much time into the argument does it take you to recognize that this is just a matter of differing opinions and it's not a matter of the result or the outcome changing or the relationship breaking or some drastic consequence? How much time does it take you to recognize that? And once you recognize it, how quickly are you able to say, you know what, let's agree to disagree? So this is another point you want to think about. This is another point you want to practice all of this week. And coming to the last tip that I'm going to give you, be aware of how you are listening. Are you listening to react, which is what all of us have been doing for most of our lives? Or are you listening to understand? Whether you will respond to it or not depends on what you understand. So, learn to listen, to understand, and to absorb. Also, listen to the words carefully. Don't mix the words in your head. Don't interpret it. Don't assume that when the person says this, it actually means that. That's a big mistake that a lot of us make. So yesterday I was talking to a client and we had a moment where I was telling her that she may have to at some point face the truth of a relationship falling apart. And in a little bit she responded saying, oh, but you are saying that this relationship is not going to work. And I immediately corrected her and I said, I did not say that. What I said is that we must become aware that there is a chance that this relationship may fall apart despite our best efforts. It's two very different things. Hence, be very careful what you are hearing, what you are listening to, and how you are interpreting it. Don't mix up someone's words. Don't try to justify it. Don't try to interpret it in your own way. First, take the words at face value. And if you have a doubt, then clarify by saying, did you mean this or did you mean that? When we start clarifying is when you will see your communication shift, because you're giving yourself a moment to understand and only then choosing how you should respond. So on that note, I'm going to sign out And I hope that you practice these easy communication tips. Do leave me a message on my Instagram. My handle is Positivity Angel, and let me know if there is any topic that you would like me to talk about during these times of quarantine.
Hi, I'm Satyajit.
Hi, I'm Racheta.
We are from the Open Library Project and we host a podcast called Paperback.
Paperback is a podcast where we engage with stalwarts and experts from various industries, suggesting non-fiction titles that contributed to their journey in a big way.
We've had guests like Anjali Raina, Dr. Marcus Rani, Dr. Swati Lodha, Ambi Parmeswaran, Apurva Damani, and many more on our show Paperback. Find new episodes every Wednesday on IVM Podcast app, website, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Do you wish you were smarter? Well, so do we. But the next best thing?
We could make you sound smarter.
And to help you with this endeavor, we are Simplified, a podcast that attempts to break down the complex world around you with a little knowledge, a lot of poor jokes, and a ton of random trivia.
Episodes out every Monday.
On the IVM Podcast app or wherever you get your podcasts.
See ya!